This is Joe Biden, the President of the United States. 2 days after the election, flanked by cabinet members and White House staffers, Biden gave remarks in the Rose Garden to concede the Democrats' defeat to the next President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
We're the people. The people vote and choose their own leaders, and they do it peacefully. And we're in a democracy. The will of the people always prevails. Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory.
Wait, Joe Biden congratulated Trump like Donald Trump?
And I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition. That's what the American people deserve.
But I was told that democracy was on the ballot and that Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans were a clear and present danger to our democracy.
Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature.
Hang on. The same Joe Biden that claimed Donald Trump was an existential threat to America, called him a racist, called his supporters garbage, declared that Trump was a fascist and that we should lock him up because if he got a second term, Trump would be a dictator, now claims that we need to lower the temperature. Fuck you, Brandon.
The American experiment endures. We're going to be okay.
But again, we were told for the better part of a decade that Donald Trump isn't just a threat to democracy, but is the biggest threat to democracy.
Look, folks, you all know it in your lives. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable.
So we went from Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic to there's gonna be some setbacks. These things happen. In other words, it was all bullshit.
I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition.
Yeah, he doesn't need your help, Kamala. And by offering congratulations, it's a far cry from just 2 weeks prior.
Donald Trump is unstable, increasingly unstable, and unfit to serve. Unfit and dangerous. He has contempt for the Constitution of the United States. He should never again serve as President of the United States. Understand what could happen if Donald Trump were back in the White House. Said he would be a dictator on day one. He will not obey an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. He himself has said he would terminate the Constitution of the United States.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Again, you can't pivot from Trump is a fascist who's gonna terminate the Constitution and be a dictator to congratulations on your victory without raising some eyebrows. Yes, it's all disingenuous to say the least, but then again, so is Kamala Harris. Anyway, the bullshit continued to flow during the first White House press briefing after the election. Here's self-proclaimed historical figure and future MSNBC contributor, Karine Jean-Pierre.
This is how elections are. This is. It ebbs and flows. You win, you lose. And this is where we are today.
So within a matter of days, we went from, if you elect a bad orange man, Project 2025 is gonna get you, to, you win some, you lose some. Womp womp.
The president say recently in the summer that the former President Trump's vision for America is dark and that it's not who we are. But given the results on Tuesday night, does he think he misjudged where the country is right now?
Look, the country spoke. They did. Majority of the country spoke. They were very clear on where they wanted to see the direction of this country. And we're gonna respect that. We are. We're gonna respect that.
So according to Karine Jean-Pierre, the majority of the country wanted Trump's dark vision. Got it.
The president repeatedly referred to Donald Trump as a threat to democracy over and over again. And this morning, though, he said we're all going to be okay. So Was that just political rhetoric?
I mean, if you know the president, you know that him saying we're all going to be okay. He's an optimist, right? He believes when you get knocked down, you get back up. We lost, but we're not defeated, right? We suffered a defeat, but we're not defeated.
So for 4 years, Joe Biden was warning that MAGA Republicans were going to destroy democracy because he's an optimist. Makes sense to me. What's your problem?
He wants to make sure that he shows optimism, right? He wants to make sure that people understand that there is a tomorrow, right? There is going to be another opportunity to have your voices heard.
Another opportunity to vote? That's not what Oprah Winfrey said.
It is entirely possible that we will not have the opportunity to ever cast a ballot again.
Does the president still stand by his description of the former president, now president-elect, as an existential threat to democracy?
I don't have anything else to share beyond what I said. The president believes, when he said it at the time, he believes he had an obligation to be honest with the American people.
It sounds like his assessment hasn't changed.
He was being honest. He has an obligation, and he was being honest with the American people.
In other words, President Biden was being honest, but now, not so much.
We're going to be okay.
This administration message to millions of Americans that they're going to wake up the day after the election if Trump won and have their rights stripped away, that democracy would crumble, and the president said today we're going to be okay. So how do you square that?
I can square that. I'm going to square that in a way that hopefully makes sense, because I've been answering this question multiple times. The American people made the decision. There was an election 2 nights ago. There was. And we respect the election process. We do. And so the job of the president is to make sure we respect that. The job of the president is to make sure that we have a peaceful transfer of power. If you respect what the American people decided, that's what you do. Why? Because the president wants to lead by example. It's not complicated. It really isn't. It's not complicated.
You can't say that Orange Hitler is going to destroy American democracy and then turn on a dime and brag that we're going to lead by example and peacefully hand over the keys. And Fox News' Jackie Heinrich called her out on it.
You know, that's important.
Example is the message to people who are fearful based on what the messaging was about the stakes.
Well, now you're just twisting everything around, and that's really unfair. No, it is. No, Jackie, it's unfair. I do not appreciate having my words twisted. That is, I have been very clear, very, very, very clear about what the president wants to do, and the vice president. We want to make sure that we deliver for the American people. They deserve a peaceful transfer of power, and that's what you're going to see. Thanks, everybody.
I don't appreciate being asked tough questions. Oh, the audacity. I'm out of here. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time, if there is a next time.